marriages need to be worked out together. And I think that's one thing that we learned early on, very early on. I basically handle all of the business end of it, and she handles all of the domestic. And it doesn't mean that we don't cross once in a while and we still do that. We have two bank accounts. We both can write checks on both of them, but I run the business one and monitor that, and she takes care of the other one and the grocery. I don't cook. I still really like the choir, and I really miss not singing in it, but someone asked me the other day why I didn't, and I said, well, Valeta just isn't ready yet, to come back. To stand very long or to sit very long really bothers her. And they said, well, that's okay. You can come. And I said, you don't understand. We do things together. And so we always have anything that we can. Now, you have to have separate parts, like committees and stuff like that you do. But if it's anything that we both can do, we play golf together. And we travel together, and we go to church together, and we sing in the choir together, and we go to marriage encounter together, and it's just the way it is. And you either decide that that's the way you want to run your marriage, or you don't.
And when we were gone this winter, we played golf almost every day except Sunday. And some of the times I wasn't feeling really good, and I'd tell you, get somebody else to play with you. Nope. I either had to play or he didn't play. So I played 7 days when I didn't feel real good, but we had fun. We do most things as a couple. So I think that's been made our marriage more solid, is doing things as a couple. Even though at the beginning it's tough, you can get, and you don't have hardly any money, that isn't the important thing. Family is the important thing, and church, especially church. And so I say God is first, and then family. And
I think both of you need to have responsibilities that are basically your responsibility, but they can cross over at any time when it's more convenient, and do things as a couple. Now that you're not always going to do that, because there's time if you get involved in organizations and things like that, like I do. I belong to a coffee group, and I belong to a Bible study group, and she doesn't belong to either one of those. But when we have socials, we're all together. Mm-hmm. On that. So there are times, that in your careers are going to separate you during that, but when you can, just like raising your kids, one thing that our kids understood early on, you don't go to one parent and get an answer and don't like the answer and then go to the other one, because that is trouble city for you if you do that. You have to support one another, and that doesn't mean you're not going to disagree, but that needs to be talked about. And I think, to disagree is fine. You need to, if you're a human being, you need to, but you need to come together, and you may decide, well, for this, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do it this way, and you agree that that's okay. Togetherness, and to make a commitment to one another. A divorce is not part of our vernacular. It's not part of anything that we think about.
Do things together, and if and when you have children, as he was saying, they didn't learn early on not to go to the other person and ask them. But if when in the discipline, one of them does something and you've disciplined him and he didn't like it, he didn't say anything. In the same way with me, if he did discipline and I didn't like what he did, we didn't say anything. But afterwards, when the kids were completely out of the picture, then we would discuss it and tell why we thought it was not a good decision or something like that. And I think that's important to not disagree right in front of them, because I think that was a good lesson for both of them to know that mom is going to support dad and dad's going to support mom and whatever the decisions were. So, and do things together all the time, as much as you can, so that you could be together. And I think that is so important.